filming? Hello, this is Jackass. My name is Kenneth Riesma, and I'm gonna skateboard home.
Should I start again?
Yeah.
Давай.
Hello, this is.
I'm not on shrooms to look an ass. Okay, come on, давай again.
Hello, this is Jackass. My name is Kenneth Riesma, and I'm gonna skateboard home.
Hello dear people of Earth, it's me, your host, Jean, and welcome back. Actually, before I'm gonna announce what it is, let me ask you a question, right? Do you really think that the future of our nations, countries and people is decided by politicians only? Moreover, just those ones that happen to be elected? Well, if you think so, or if you need some convincing, welcome back to the Talking Voice Show, Season 2, DOS. Me, Jean, being your host, and you being my main guest. This show has no script whatsoever. I'm not sure where I'm going with this show. It's more of background kind of audio book sort of thing, if you know what I'm going for. So let me tell you the difference between season 1 and season 2. As you can clearly see, it's the visual. Wow, we have a wide shot. We can see so much in just one shot now. Incredible. But also look at the quality of the video. Don't you see any improvements? Doesn't look like a cassette anymore, does it? Still looks old, but not as glitchy, if you know what I mean. It's because I'm in a different country. I have moved a couple months ago. I haven't recorded Talking Voice in more than a year, and since then I have moved from Estonia to a different country. So I don't really have my cassette equipment in here, or for that matter any equipment. I have my little Sony Handycam and have to, be making a full finished product just using that camera. But anyway. The question I asked you is whether you really think that the future of our country is premeditated solely by politicians and lawmakers. The answer is obviously no. Anyone who is in power has a say in what we are going to be doing, what we will have to be faced with in the future. Everyone influences that. Everyone who has power, right? It could be a banker. It could be a CEO. For all I know, it could be a chief of police, But we didn't choose them. We didn't vote for them. How does that work? That the people that we didn't vote for barge into our lives and decide what to do. Oh, the answer is also simple, just money. It's just money. Okay, look at it this way. Our president, right, has a wife, right? The wife tells him, babe, please don't sign that legislation tomorrow. I have a feeling it won't do any good. He's like, well, the people chose me. I have to be doing what they need me to do, right? Then he loves his wife, and some personal interest just stops him from doing good for the country. But we didn't elect the wife. We didn't elect her. Yet she still has a direct influence on our future. Right? And that's how it works.
Nee. Guck mal, jetzt sogar Bankus Fisch. Zwei Bänke. Es wird immer besser.
Ja.
Wollen wir die Hunde hier nochmal in den See schmeißen?
Kann man das nicht?
And same goes with everyone who we didn't elect and has an influence in, say, in our future. It goes for bankers, it goes for CEOs, it goes for so-called public servants. By the language, you could have easily recognized where I am. I'm in the land of Germans. Bavaria. Thank you so much. No, that's nice. That's very nice. Dankeschön. Dankeschön. Anyway, we're in Germany, as you can clearly see, in the land of Bavaria. And honestly, I never ever thought that I would move here. I never ever wanted to move here in the first place. Never considered it as a country where I would live and feel myself and work and have future. And honestly, living here for something like 8 months by now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I still didn't really feel it. Well, anyway, back to the topic. So we let unelected people influence our future, control what we do, and decide for us. But we didn't elect them. Where's the democracy in that? Well, and that's why the democracy is failing, because the people that simply have more money have the right to say what to do. And it's not the system that we create, it's not what we voted for, it's what they created. The system is designed in such a beautiful manner that no matter what anyone does, it's just a part of the system and feeds into it. Like gas feeds into the flame, right? It's terrible. So why even bother worrying about something that you can't just change, but also influence, right? You can't just change it or influence that. Oh my god, somebody just called me. I really hope the recording didn't stop there. Anyway. Why would you bother with worrying about something that you can't change? Or can't even influence, simply influence? That's why you need to network with people that are above you, with the higher ups. You need to network. You need to socially engineer them. You need to play the long game. You need to have aces in your pocket or under your sleeve, moreover. You know, easy access, quick, easy access. They don't have to be your friends. Not everyone has to be your friend. There could be just simply professional relations, if that makes sense. Which also works if you have a good hand. Well, anyway. Remember petitions? You might still believe that petitions mean that you're changing the future or influencing the outcome of the future. The only issue with petitions is that it's sort of a sanctioned, we call, thing by the government that doesn't really go anywhere. No matter how many people will sign, it just doesn't go anywhere. Because the amount of signatures doesn't mean that they have to, you know, put that legislation through, that they have to make a change. All that allows you, like 100,000 signatures, is for the petition, for the name, heading of the petition to be just heard and discussed, I hope. It doesn't matter, honestly, it doesn't matter. Now, if your goal, right, is to remove something, just go for it. Just go for it and remove it. No need for this bureaucratic, systematic, inflated, out of nowhere, illusionary process. No need for it. Your goal is to make a change, then go and make a change. No need to be calling up anyone. No need to be gathering people together if you can do it alone. Good example. ULEZ cameras in London. ULEZ is a new thing that It's like a new camera that reads the number plate and essentially checks the system whether your car is qualified enough to be traveling in like half of London. Because in half of London, your car, no matter whether you have the license and the insurance and everything else, if you don't have the ULEZ thing, you know, more bureaucratic bullshit, if you don't have that, you can't even drive around in your own car in half of London. Now, of course, many people didn't like that because that's taxation. That's like nonsense, you know? So there are many ways to go about it. You could gather people and make them sign petitions and make them stand in front of the parliament and shout out different words. But what one man did, very sensible man, he took a fucking hacksaw and he went around London, still does, he simply cut down those poles on which those new cameras, ULEZ cameras were. One man alone, with a fucking saw, doing so much for the people. I'm not telling you to do the same thing, I'm just telling you how simple it is to actually make a change. If your goal is to do what he did, then do what he did. Remove all that bureaucratic nonsense, because everything that is sanctioned by the government, allowed by the government, every protest that is registered, you know, it's essentially not gonna work. Because if your goal is to fuck the government would never let you fuck them. It would never be like, oh yeah, go out tomorrow and show everyone how you fuck us. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works, sadly. Your goal is your goal. Okay, just go for it, just do it. No need for the nonsense. If you want to, I don't know, get rid of crude oil in the world, well, that's a dream, right? Getting rid of the crude oil. Wow. No, get rid of it. Doesn't mean that you need to be gathering people for it to sign some fucking useless petitions to just barely get heard by someone higher up. Go to the higher ups or directly just burn the crude oil. I don't know what to tell you. It's just so useless to even worry about those things. It's like not something we can change. It's very systematic. It has been going on for hundreds of years, for centuries, and people weren't happy like ever. People always wanted to change, but now all we got is an illusion of control, illusion of change, illusion of us having any sort of fucking say in anything that goes on in this world. It's so illusory, it's so illusory, we can't do that. So the question that I have for you actually is, if you understand that fighting this righteous war for the people, for the rights, for the future of our children, wow, if you see that it goes nowhere, even if we all fucking unite, it just goes nowhere. So what's the point of fighting it? Why not have this amazing standpoint of, if you can't beat them, join them? Because in the end, it's your life, it's your personal interest to feed yourself and your future generations, your future offspring, not his, not hers. If you're a Robin Hood, well, keep knocking on that door, what can I tell you? But it all comes down to just personal interest, and that's how it happens. There's no point in trying to beat them, because it's not that simple. And who is them? Who is them? You let me know who them is. You know? We are all considered Goyim. We are all destroying ourselves, okay, by eating what they feed us, by feeding ourselves the content that they feed us, the media, by learning what they teach us, by doing what we do, slaving away for our whole life to just barely get by. And you'll clearly understand that you just take it as it has to be like this, you know? You understand that it's not right, but it kind of just has to be. What I'm talking about is you slaving away for your whole life and not getting the profits that you actually earn for the company. You have spent a couple of years or 10 years in the company, let's say, or 20 years. You've brought so much to the company. Status, you brought that image to the company, money, benefits, monetary gain, everything goes to the big guy above you, right? Your boss. Because why? Because 10 years ago he just stole some money from some other big guy, and now he is the big guy himself. And now you have to worry about what your children eat tomorrow, and you have to worry whether your husband beats you, and whether he's gonna be in good mood or bad mood. Probably bad mood because you didn't feed him enough, because, well, you don't have that much money to feed him enough, you know. But it's very disproportional. You compared to your higher up, to your boss, it's very disproportionate. You clearly understand that it shouldn't be that way. Everyone does, but no one does anything about it because it's been going on for hundreds of years. We were born into this monetary system and we can't do anything about it. So why not just join them? Not join them as the worker, but join them as a right hand, helping hand or something like that. It's not that difficult. And you are the architect of your own life. If only people knew how truly free they are. Like, that's a really big issue that I've noticed. A lot of people are just stopped by the potential, the unknown and the potential, the things that might never even happen, that most likely won't ever happen. It doesn't let them live, it doesn't let them discover and be happy and learn and everything else in between. The fears of which demons feed. It just stops you, doesn't it? But the second you understand how truly free and untethered you are, that you don't owe anybody shit, not even yourself, to be fair, you're so free that nobody can tell you shit, do that, do this, just try not to harm anyone in the process, you know? You're so free in this world, but it's difficult to see that until you lose that freedom. So try to be free for as long as you can before anything changes, because all those changes, they come quick, but they creep up on us. For 5 to 10 years, they creep up to us. We see what's happening, but at first it's just so weak that we don't even care about it. Then it's just there, and you can't ignore it anymore. And you can't do anything about it. Those changes creep up to us. From the 80s till now, that's 45 years, that's less than half a century, but the world has changed so much, economically, politically, socio-economically, socio-politically, if you will. And not all those changes are good. Who are they good for? Who do those changes feed? Those changes feed those who propose those fucking changes. Would you propose a higher tax? Would you propose budget cuts? No. Unless you're a higher up, of course, but I don't think anyone in the high up watches this show. Let's be real. I mean, no one really watches this show, to be fair. Let's be real. And welcome back to the Talking Voice Show. I'm your host, John. The show that nobody watches, Season 2, wide format, high. Fucking scrumptious, isn't it? So many things have changed since I've recorded the last episode. Realized a lot of things. I've been essentially insuling for the first time in my life, involuntary celibate since September. For 8 months, had zero pussy. Man, I had a lot of time to think. And I'm honestly really glad for where I am, for what I am, for what I can do, for what I have done. Even though not all things I have done were good, just the way it was back then. I can't say I have many regrets. I have some regrets, a couple of regrets in my life, but essentially it's just an essential path of mine that I had to go through to become a better person, to become a better version of myself, to be a better man, if you will. And I remember how I've been telling you and preaching you how there is no limit to one's amount of knowledge, to one's amount of skill, to one's, I don't know, amount of knowledge. Apparently, it seems like there is. With age, it's much more difficult, with each fucking year, it's much more difficult to be learning new stuff. Like languages, for example. In school, you could learn a language in a couple of months. When you're in your 20s, you can also live somewhere and learn it in a couple of months, but it's just becoming more difficult to learn, honestly, to remember things and whatnot. To even find the motivation to learn. And be gathering that knowledge. At some point, you might feel like you have hit a dead end and there is nothing more to learn, but there is. There is always something new to learn. It's not always exciting, but at some point it will get exciting again. You just got to learn the alphabet first, you know? Yes. I've been getting this thought. There are a lot of living creatures in this world. God's magnificent creatures, a lot different. Also different, big or small, hairy or bald, you know. But there is only two types that I really don't like. Insects and humans. Because humans have the audacity to be invading everything we see, build our infrastructure, polluting whatever there is, and then being mad for rats for chewing on our table legs, for destroying what's ours. No! That table leg is the tree that you chopped down behind your house. And that tree was a home for that fucking rat or a rodent. And it's just what rodents do, they bite wood. I don't know whether I'm correct in what I'm saying, but you get the point, you get the gist. We have the fucking audacity, we're thinking that the rat is bad, when in reality you're the fucking intruder. You're the motherfucking satanic piece of shit that came to this earth from Lord knows where as a fucking punishment for what you fucking did. And you just don't improve, you just can't find unity and one with whatever is around you, can't find peace in your own self to begin with. How the fuck does that work? Oh yeah, technology doesn't let us anymore. Forgot that we are one with technology now instead of nature. But honestly, me, personally, I could never be one with nature. Like, I understand it, but it's so below me. Like, I'm really past this shit. I'm past love, peace, and unity. I'm past fucking petals on the flower shit. I'm past flowers and bees. Even though I understand that you need to care for it, I just don't give it so much significance as hippies do. It's very crucial to go through that stage, but it's not everything that there is to life. Okay, you learn that, okay, fucking move on, you fucking stinky hippie. Stop fucking hugging those trees, man, what the fuck, you can do it for your whole life, and where is it gonna get you? You're gonna get buried under that tree, yes, some microorganisms are gonna eat you apart and decompose you, and you're gonna give back to nature, wow, wonderful, cool, but how about your entire fucking life that is one? For your whole life. How about the rest of the experience? Okay, the main part of the fucking experience. Piece of shit. Fuck, I hate hippies. And punks. I hate hippies and punks, to be fair. Punks is probably literally the only subculture that I truly hate. Truly. No peace till each and every single one understands they're just shitty, pissy fucking children. Because that's what they are. They piss their pants. They don't even know who Gigi Allen is. They don't know mods and rockers. About the movement, they don't know fucking shit. And they shit on new metal. What the fuck? Pissy punks. I'll pick it up later. Don't think I have too much battery on my camera, so I'm gonna try and cover as much as I can in a short period of time. Those are just my thoughts, okay? Those are just my thoughts. So to recap, don't fucking worry about something you can't change or even influence. Don't worry about that shit. It's not up to you. And if you think that it's up to you, it's because you were indoctrinated to think so. When in reality, Remember all those posts about Ukraine you have done. Even those contributions that people have made you that you sent to Ukraine. You didn't affect a single fucking You didn't affect anything. Didn't influence anything, the outcome of anything. It didn't help the slightest bit. Even though there is a ripple effect, you know, like in work, for example. Your boss is not telling your husband to beat you as a wife, right? But it all just comes to that. Your husband gets less salary, or he gets shouted on at work, and he's now filled with negative energy that he needs to give out someone, and just happen to be the person he speaks to all the time. And it's just the ripple effect, but not in this fucking case. Not in the case of lawmaking or controlling the future of a country or the future of your nation. You can be the biggest Nazi in the world, but I promise you, the people don't need you. If they needed you, they would have come to you by now. People need to be fed, they need to be comfortable, they need to be lazy. They need to think that they're doing something good. Like you. You are a victim of indoctrination. If I keep saying that word right, I'm not sure. English is not my first language. Hello. Anyway, yeah. It's a bit more grim than that. But me, what I'm actually doing is I'm doing a very noble job in what I'm doing. A very noble job. You could join me if you're 18. In actually doing your part against whoever controls this world from the shadows. Okay? If you don't want to join them, you can join me in the noble battle. I'm not gonna give any more details on that. You just have to be 18 and bold and willing to travel. Okay? Simple as. You know what's really fucking funny? In August, I had a wonderful acid experience. It was a fucking nightmare, okay? It was a fucking nightmare. But I've done acid so many times before, and I never aimed for visuals, I never aimed for hallucinations. I was mostly microdosing acid. I'm taking a very small dose to not even see it. But this time was really different, and since then, since August, September, I haven't actually done drugs. Just weed every day. I don't drink alcohol, I don't do drugs anymore. Not even prescription class B drugs. What to say about like fucking powders and psychedelics and whatnot. Like no. Drugs is a nice thing to go through. It's very nice to experiment with them very carefully. Taking half of what everyone else takes, okay? They offer you a pill, take a half of it. They offer you half of a pill, take a quarter. That's actually what my mom taught me. And thank you, mother, for teaching me that. As I was just entering my teenage years. It's one of the best advices I could have ever received. Honestly. It will save your life and make your experience more full, I would say. Like, you would still get the full experience from what you take, but you're not gonna get that much negativity from it, if that makes sense. It's not gonna harm you as much. Yeah, drugs are honestly nice, I can tell you, drugs are nice if done correctly, and you see we are very individualistic as people. Some find escape in drugs, some find potential for creative artwork in drugs. Some find motivation and focus in drugs. Some find recreation in drugs. Some don't find drugs in the first place. Some keep thinking that it kills you immediately. It doesn't kill you immediately. It kills you long term if you don't do anything about it. But so is everything else. So is coffee if you don't do anything about it. So is not walking every single day, not jogging every single day. That would kill you just sitting on your ass and in your car seat. It will kill you if you don't do anything about it. Everything that you don't do about eventually will kill you. It will. It will surely kill you. It's not just drugs. Don't blame anything on drugs. Blame everything on lack of education about drugs from the parents and the school side. Lack of education. Need to be informed what it is. Yes, it's dangerous, especially such pointless nonsense like heroin, opiates. Super dangerous. Terrible. Yes, it can actually kill you first time if you overdose. Real. But LSD, for example, psychedelics like shrooms, for example, mescaline, it won't kill you. Shit. It might show you the reality of this world, and you might not just handle it eventually. Might kill yourself, but the drug won't kill you. It's all very individualistic. People find their own things, or they don't find them at all. You can stay in your comfort zone for the rest of your life and just grow roots where you're sitting right now. Just grow roots. Let's see where that takes you. Some people like that are lucky in life. Some. Very lucky. They stay in the comfort zone, and then someone just barges in, and surprisingly, they spend the rest of their life together. Happens. But I know my path. I'm free, I'm untethered, and I've done so many things in life, and I have so many things to do. I can't be on one spot. I can't be the same as I was a year or two ago. I constantly have to be fluctuating and changing and trying to be changing for the better, not worse. Sometimes you change for the worse. Your depression gets a hold of you. Your mental illnesses get a hold of you. You don't even notice it. But the second you notice it, instead of lying to yourself, how about you actually be a human for once and do something? It's your own self that you are talking about. It's you, your own self. That's all you got for your whole life. You might not even have a mirror, but you still have yourself. You can look at your hands and whatnot without a mirror. You is all you have in this world. Take good care of yourself. Take proper good care of yourself.
Hast du einfach in Wahrheit dein eigenes Weiß mitnehmen.
Wie ich damals den ersten Tag mein Handy gekriegt habe, von Gelb, aus von Gelb zu Weiß.
Das war ein Feiertag.
Haben sie mir einen goldenen gekriegt. Erst hatte ich einen goldenen. Wer kann steigern, werden draufsteigern.
Yeah. Do you know what evil in this world is? Do you know what the devil is, what demons are? Those are such concepts that just sound like words until they become reality to you. And my dear viewer, I really hope it will never become reality to you, because though that sort of understanding doesn't come from good, it doesn't come from you feeling great about this world or yourself. So even if I wish that my best friend could understand me, even though I wished for it, I actually don't wish for it at all. But I know it just doesn't come from a good place in life. When you meet the devil, when you appear in the crossroads, when you make a deal, when you are presented with evil spirits, when you hallucinate them once, when you gain control over them, when you battle that fear and gain control over them eventually. It's very interesting how you can subvert anything in this world. You can make something that is generally bad work for you as good. It's very interesting. So like, very simple example, a fighter. What is pain to a fighter? Pain to a fighter is motivation. It's not even an obstacle anymore. Moreover, fear. No, nothing bad like that. Pain to a fighter is motivation. And I don't know, green light to go all out on the opponent, let's say. You know what I mean? Something that is generally bad, pain, physical pain. To a fighter, it's motivation. Because the fighter made it that way. And that concerns everything in this world, everything that is negative, every negative feeling, everything that hurts and destroys. You can actually make it work miracles for you. But the words I'm saying right now, to you, they just probably sound like words. They don't really create pictures in your head or anything like that, but it's a very elaborated process that eventually you will need to understand in your life. The true good and the true bad, what those things really are, because a lot of things that are presented to us as good are not good. Most things that are presented to us that are good are not good. The simplest example is Tarantino, one of my most favorite directors, legend. What are his movies essentially about? Okay, yes, there are some storylines and love and friendship and professional relations and they're all essentially about murder, about drugs, about prostitution, lying, cheating, killing, extortion, all that negative stuff. But the way he presents it, the way he fucking presents it, is captivating. It's glamorizing negative lifestyles, just like hip-hop. It's glamorizing pain, it's glamorizing not having morals, it's glamorizing psychopathy, it's glamorizing darkness, dirt, and evil. It glamorizes it, it turns bad into good. But then you need to differ. You need to recognize it to understand what you're watching is not actually good. It sort of pollutes your mind if you watch it on constant. If you listen to hip-hop on constant like I was since 7 years old, it pollutes you. Thank God I didn't understand the lyrics until I was like 15 and I didn't know English that well. Then you need to realize that if you don't recognize it in time, it will shape your perspective, it will shape the way you react, the way you perceive, what you do, how you do it. It will just give it a blueprint. It will indoctrinate you better than anything. You know? It's like you're mad at people that watch news every single day, right? Hello. But every piece of media is essentially that sort of propaganda if you consume it on an everyday basis, willingly. Any piece of media could be that propaganda. You know, it can pollute your mind if you let it. Yeah. And even then, if you don't think about it, you kind of just automatically consent to it happening because you still consume it. You feed yourself it. You feed your mind with it. These are just like words I'm saying, but they make so much sense to me. It's like clear processes. It's like if you wash a dirty rock, it will become cleaner. And the words I'm saying, they work in the exact same way. It's like so simple. But you need something to turn those words into real concepts. You need that understanding. And what helps with that understanding is, of course, personal experience, going through all that shit, and then thinking about it, reflecting back on the experience, reflecting back on yourself, how it changed you, how it affected you, if anyhow, good or bad at least. What really helps with that is psychedelics. They really broaden your mind. They really broaden your mind. Yet it's always, for some reason, psychedelics have this wonderful potential to make everything deep, when in reality, half of it is not even that deep, to be fair. Like it could be, technically, but it's not. Sometimes it's simpler than we think it is. Don't trip. That's why they say don't trip. Don't trip in slang means don't worry, but tripping in slang means taking acid and going through that brain melter of a trip when you have so many thoughts and your brain works 200,000% better than it used to. But at some point it's becoming too much and you're just like, don't trip. You know? You can't stop the trip. Once you do the acid, it just won't stop, won't ever stop. You'll keep discovering new things, noticing new things, which is a wonderful thing, honestly. You just always need to give proper reflection, self-reflection, especially. Always analyze. Not just like meditate the future, literally just think about it, you know? Simple as. But also, like, one thing I learned in business in school is you can't be stuck in between two things, two models, two extremes. You can't be someone dangling somewhere in between, because it's gonna lead you nowhere. You have to be either black or white. So if you're thinking, then think to the fullest. If you're not thinking, then don't think at all, and let life forces take control of your life, which is also not bad, honestly. You just go with the flow. You go with the flow. But then there's a great chance that you just won't notice how your life has passed really, how days and years flew by, and you haven't really influenced anything in your life. And it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling when you realize it could have been different than what you actually wanted, instead of being lazy and letting go and letting life forces take control of what's going on. Lay back. Hello. Quote of the day. I really don't know where I heard it from, but it changed my perspective, or should I say it was the starting point of shaping my perspective on the whole good and bad thing. And it simply went as control your demons. Simply said that. Well, of course it's like a metaphor. Control your demons. It's a metaphor for control your negative side. Control your negative impulses, negative thoughts, negative bad wishes. Don't let them go into action. At the same time, what it means, control your demons, is that, thinking about it directly, demons, hell, it's like below us. It's like we think that we're in this world, and above us is like heaven, somewhere in the sky, above the skies, above the clouds, and below us is hell, somewhere in the depths of the ground. So demons are below us, and angels are above us. And here it is. Nobody says control your angels. Nobody says that. There is a reason for it, why they say control your demons. Nobody says control your angels. There's a good fucking reason for it. Maybe it does mean that you can control your demons. Maybe you can. Maybe. What if I told you that there are medieval manuscripts, magic books, real ones, called grimoires, that existed for many centuries by now, that outline and highlight on how to communicate with whoever it is, right? How to invoke them, evoke them. Very interesting stuff. If I ever get money, or get to the money, I will get a grimoire. Like the Lesser Key of Solomon, it has 5 books, and different books are on different things. One book, Ars Goetia, is just about demons. Then there is like another book that is just about angels. You know, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. And I promise you, it's not that people in the medieval ages were just so fucking bored. They had to survive harder than us. Walk fucking miles just to get somewhere. Right? So it's more than that. It's more than that. The medieval ages is so interesting. It was such an age for magic, for witchcraft, a lot of shit, pagan religions and whatnot. It's Christianity, once again, the Crusades and whatnot. That was happening then. That's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. Not a coincidence. It's actually very mind-blowing if you start to search on some base level. Also, can I recommend you one thing, my dear viewer? If you ever want to research information that contains like PDF documents and some files and whatnot, whether it's science portals or government portals, Google is not the best for it. There is one more search engine which is really fucking good, surprisingly. It's called DuckDuckGo. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you've not. But DuckDuckGo allows you to find shit that would otherwise be filtered by Google. So less opinions, less bias. I'm talking less agenda, talking more facts, talking more real documents, talking real, how do you call it? Shit. Articles, science articles, scholar articles. DuckDuckGo is just great for it. It's amazing, it's incredible, it's really impressive. Same goes to pictures, to be fair. If there is something more niche, you can find it easier than DuckDuckGo, I think. Yeah, it's a great browser I've discovered many years ago, and I sometimes use it when I can't find any, let's say, reliable scientific fact on Google. Right. So all I can find on Google is like nothing forums, how do you call it, some weird news portals. That's not the way to go about such things, you know? When you need real fucking numbers and not fucking opinions that were probably sponsored by Rothschild or better yet, Bill Gates or some shit. Oh my god, he's talking about Bill Gates, he's schizophrenic. Kill yourself, please. Anyway, DuckDuckGo is definitely the way to go if you try to research such information. Really good stuff. They say history repeats itself, but does it really? Does it really? Wait, I've named the quote of the day. Let me give you the song of the day. Think you all should listen to CPAC's Acid Crew. Eurozone is the name of the track. Eurozone. Amazing music video to it. Available on YouTube. You'll probably like it. It sounds so fucking authentic, even though that song is only a couple of years old. It sounds like it totally came out in 96 or 97. Proper music, proper style. CPAC's Acid Crew. Eurozone.
Ja, das reicht. Fahr vor, weiter.
Hallo.
Super.
The time flew by so quick. I've been speaking for more than 45 minutes by now. Very interesting stuff. Thank you so much, dear viewer, for joining the show. Season 2, widescreen, wider prolapse in the anus because of how much the government obviously fucks us. And it's not just... Let me tell you where the world is heading. the wet dream of those who truly control it from the shadows. Semites, Semites, however we want to call them, Zionists. Whoever truly controls it from the shadows is the ultimate dream. Is one united nation, one world under one nation, under one government. Unite the people. But why? Why all this globalism? Because it's easier to control. Right now they have to be fucking barging into 200 plus different fucking governments separately, doing their fucking manipulations separately with each fucking representative of each fucking government. Why when they can just unite the globe? What the fuck? That's their wet dream. That's their wet dream. Why do we care about that so much? Why do I care about it so much? People just don't know. It's not that they don't care. I promise you, if they found something that is actually interesting, something that they are curious about, there needs to be a spark to ignite the whole fucking thinking process. There needs to be a spark. Even though I've personally, I've always had interest towards such things, what really sparked my interest is once, when I was tripping acid in 2021, in my flat in Central Talent, I was tripping acid. Back then, I was getting hella scam messages on Instagram from so-called grandmasters from Illuminati, from the secret society of Illuminati. Text me on WhatsApp if you're interested in setting your life. And back then, I only started struggling, you know. And since I was getting so many of those messages from bots, I thought so. I decided to even, like for the fuck of it, text them and see what the fuck they're about. And then I realized that, yeah, they're scammers, but then I got really interested in what the fuck are they pretending to be? What the fuck is Illuminati? Oh, my battery's dying. Guess I shouldn't be speaking about that. I've been hearing in 2014 memes, emoji, Illuminati here, Illuminati there, triangles with eyes. So I looked up a video on YouTube on what the fuck is Illuminati. I found that it's Freemasonry. And I found a video by actual Grandmaster that explained on how to join. A really good video, and it said refer to your nearest Grand Lodge. So I went to my phone as I was tripping acid. I went to my phone, I looked on maps. Nearest Grand Lodge. Turns out to live next door to it. I've always been walking under the arch with tinted glass, colorful windows, without ever noticing them. Without ever thinking that I could be living next to a Grand Lodge. Freemason Grand Lodge. As a matter of fact, the grandest in Baltics, right? Great Lodge. And hello. And that's what really sparked my interest. Just the fact that I was living right next door to that lodge. Really sparked my interest. It's not that secluded. It's very central of Tallinn. Yet you actually have to look for it to kind of find it, if you know what I mean. Very interesting stuff. But there has to be a spark. That's gonna be my final word in this episode. Thanks so much for joining. I'm glad that I managed to record. First episode of the second season, another episode of the Talking Voice Show. Me being your host, Jean, talking about the real problems. Not that inflated, not that illusory fucking shit. The smoke and mirrors. Not that. Being real, and you should be too.